right, so decided to come out to Tioga State Forest, which is just an absolute gem of a place to be, to hike the Green Monster Trail. It looked really beautiful online. It's a 16.2 mile loop, and gonna be spending the night out here, which should be really beautiful. So far so good. Mosquitoes are already pretty bad, but I'm also right next to some water, so hopefully the trail won't be like that the entire time, but there it goes. Whew. Going straight up today. This may not look steep on a video, but this is an ankle breaker. However, I definitely prefer to be going uphill more so than downhill. So you'd think like hitting the gym 4 times a week would prepare you for hitting the trail with the pack on. There's really no preparation that you can do for, a challenging trail with your pack until you're on trail with your pack. And it's just a different experience, and it feels really good because you're dealing with like different elevation changes, but like the natural rhythm of the earth and those elevation changes rather than a mechanical machine that kind of keeps you at one pace, if that makes sense. Anywho, that little climb up the mountain felt really good, and as usual, it levels out. You can catch your breath and feel good that you just climbed up a mountain, or at least a quarter of one. All right, see ya. So I ate about 3 grams of mushrooms before, well, a little after hitting the trail, and holy shit are they hitting hard, but I am like in my element, you know what I mean? It's like the mushrooms plus the forest, and I just had a moment where I was able to release like a really deep felt cry, which felt phenomenal, but I also felt like super comforted because like I'm in the forest. There wasn't any sense of alone, no sense of judgment. It's just all very welcoming. I also just need to point out how unbelievably healthy this tree is. It deserves recognition. find this whole mushroom experience in the forest to be quite profound, obviously. And it definitely takes a certain level with yourself in order to take some mushrooms and put yourself inside, deep inside the forest, and feel like okay, because there's nothing wrong. It is just peace and serenity as usual. The mushrooms just, oh man, just makes everything a little more intimate than it already is. So the intimacy gets deepened. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So keep on hiking. So obviously out here thinking, and I've been hiking so much, prior to getting back into society. So when the pandemic hit, I fucking hit the trail. I was on the trail. That was my first thought. I was like, I'm hitting the trail. This is an opportunity. I can go and be in the forest, be in my element. And that lasted only so long, 2 years of pure exploration, which I'm so grateful for. Because I'm back in the forest as usual, of course. And I find it really interesting because after getting back in the forest, or after the forest ended, and it did, the Appalachian Trail, I had to figure out a way to make money, make income, so I can get back out into the forest. And in getting back into society, I'm looking at my arm. I'll see if I can get it on video. Okay. So those two marks on my arm are actually like scars from, a 650 degree pizza oven, tossing pizza in. And I thought they were just gonna go away with time, but these burns, well, they're now scars, have been there. Cause you're literally dealing with a 600 and some degree oven. And my body is marked. Hopefully not permanently. It's just fascinating to think about. So I was totally just trying to contemplate why I made that point about a 600 degree oven. Because in the forest, there are no 600 degree ovens that can burn you and leave scars. Because the forest is normally pretty soft and awesome and won't hurt you. However, ironically, I just ran across this. That is a pile of fur from a deer. That was definitely dragged off into the forest. So, yeah, the forest can kill you if you're a certain kind of creature. But for the most part, it's cool. So there's something significantly more beautiful about seeing a broken eggshell on the forest floor. You know what I mean? Look at that. And like you get this beautiful like pop of blue. You know, it just looks a lot better in the forest than it does anywhere else. So that's that. This is a proper forest back road. Just like beautifully matted down, cuts through greenery. It's just pristine. So nice. Just a prime example of some of the purest, cleanest water that you can drink. I put mine through a filter like most people do, just in case. But this is like the cleanest water that you're ever gonna come across. I mean, look what it's running through. The moss, the rocks, the ferns, coming down into this beautiful pool. So beautiful. So, food for thought, and also just from personal experience, when I was in the Bald Eagle State Forest hiking, I had like 3 ticks on me in a matter of a half a mile because it's a highly trafficked trail. And I'm out here literally, so I drove 3 hours to get out here. And I'm in Tioga State Forest on a not really, well, I mean, it's a Wednesday, so it's not like that active, but the trail does not seem that active. It's actually really primitive. And I have not had a single tick on me. No ticks. So ticks like to hang out, I assume, in high traffic areas to latch onto their victims and suck their blood because they're disgusting, and that's what they do. That's what they're programmed to do. It's just in their tick blood DNA. So yeah, just a fun little observation that I've been thinking about while hiking this trail. All right, see ya. And just another beautiful, thick, healthy tree. You can tell which are the mother trees, or at least mature adults, because of the size of their trunk and how beautiful they are. I will say, like, this is one of many things that the Appalachian Trail has taught me, is to just slow the hell down and really just like appreciate just hanging out in the forest and like eating your lunch and just hanging out. On the AT, it was just like go, go, go. You know, you get to your next stop, you're exhausted at every point that you get to for the most part. And then, you know, doing this 16-mile trail, I'm like, a 16-mile day, that was a normal day on the AT. So it's like, the best way to utilize a 16-mile hike now is to fully embrace it and enjoy it, because there is no rush, because I'm not on the AT, because the AT literally puts you in a really weird mindset. And it just, now being off of it and back in the forest, it just makes me a lot more grateful for moments like this. Lots of lessons to be learned from the Appalachian Trail, and this is one of them. Chill out. So I actually ended up just finishing that trail today, which I was not expecting at all. I was definitely anticipating on finding a camp spot and just kind of chilling out alongside the trail after doing yay amount of miles. And I ended up finishing it in 5 hours and 52 minutes. So it was a 15.3 mile hike. And I did it with my pack on. And it felt great. Like, it was just a really nice workout today. And I always feel comforted when I have my pack on. It's like just a wonderful sense of well-being. So I'm gonna find or go to a campground, see what that's like, and set up there and get some rest. See you. So I ended up coming out to the ASAF campground, ASAF, A-S-A-P-H, and it's $10 a night. It's primitive, so there's no comfort facilities. I mean, there's like a bathroom, but I think it's a pit toilet, and there's like a hand pump for like groundwater that you can drink, so it's potable. However, I mean, if you're willing to just like scrap comfort and electricity and anything else and pay $10 to be out in the forest, then this is the place to be. So after like not camping on trail like I thought I was, I ended up coming here, and I'm so glad I did. I'll show you what I'm working with. So as you can see, there's like a beautiful stream. Awesome water source, obviously, where I'm getting my water. I'm not getting it from the pump. And then I got my tent all set up, and this site came with a bunch of firewood, so that's awesome, so I don't have to buy any. But as you can see, like, that's just like a dirt road. That's all a dirt road that leads back here, so it's not like commercial traffic or anything like that. And you have all of this space. So there's about a dozen spaces here. This one was the largest. I just took it because I was the only one here when I first got here. But there's someone camped out down there. They just got in. So it's like really recluse and just super beautiful, and a magnificent day today. So I'm glad everything worked out. Also, since I'm like eating, I'll talk about like what I snack on, just because I think that's important. So to crave like my sweet tooth and hydration, I use these Propel little packets. This one is my absolute favorite. It tastes so good, and it just hits the spot. It's 0 sugar, but it's sweet in its own way, and I love it, and it just feels really good to drink after you put in those miles. I've also been eating these Nature Valley dark chocolate cherry bars for the last 3 years, and I never get tired of this flavor. This is my absolute favorite. I eat them constantly. 3 years straight. Love them. And it definitely satisfies my body. Nuts play a massive role in my diet too. I eat these on trail and off trail almost every day. Almonds are just like my go-to snack for literally everything. And then of course, like instant mashed potatoes, get something that's flavorful. I used to mix shit with the mashed potatoes, but not anymore. I just kind of eat them as is. And then of course, like you want to keep it like even more simple. Any sort of ramen works well. This happens to be really spicy, and spicy food is not good to be eating while you're on trail. It just doesn't feel good. It just like messes with your stomach. I didn't really know that until I got it, but even though it says spicy on the package, I wasn't paying attention. It's still really good though. I've noticed a lot of people, well, I guess I'm referring to like thru hikers, they'll eat a lot of like candy and like high sugar stuff. And I never understood that. I get it, it's tasty and your body craves like instant gratification with like tasty cakes and stuff and Skittles and candy and crazy shit that does not fuel your body. Thankfully, I kind of like leaned off of that. I was eating gummy bears for a while to kind of help with the sweet tooth. But I started getting like heartburn with those, oddly enough. So yeah, just keep it simple, keep it healthy, and just keep things that like fuel your body. You know, it doesn't have to be insane. All right, see ya.